Good morning. We are here. I'm here with Ken DeBarth. He's the president of the Preservation Society and the Ocracoke Preservation Society, and we are getting ready to unveil what we were talking about earlier. It's very exciting, I think, as a community member, as an OPS board member,
and a lifetime resident.
Lifetime resident, and you've been here how many years?
25 or so, give or take.
Give or take. And we hope that it's really exciting for all you guys as repeat visitors, first-time visitors, any visitors. So we're going to turn you around and show you where you're at. Some people guessed the pictures last night that we showed. It was kind of obvious, but turn you around. We're here at the corner of the Island Inn, and we're starting a fundraiser is what we're doing to try to get this Island Inn Oddfellows Lodge saved. So the property is traditionally known as the Island Inn. The business, most of you know it as the Island Inn. The centerpiece that's left is called the Oddfellows Lodge. It was built in 1901. The Ocracoke Preservation Society is currently purchasing it. But as with everything, we need help. And we at the Village Craftsmen feel so strongly about this that we've gone ahead and started the fundraiser, and we've made the first donation. And if you go to the GoFundMe, Ocracoke's Island Inn Oddfellows Lodge, you can see the link. I'll share that later. And a lot of people have wondered why it looks so bad. And I tell you, we've really been trying, and there have been a few factors that have gotten in our way. The storm, for one, Hurricane Dorian, and we'll show you the tide line in there. We're going to walk through it so you can see what the Island Inn looks like, what the Oddfellows Lodge looks like. I see somebody can't hear me. Can you hold that, Ken? I'm not sure why. Can anybody else hear me? Sorry about that. Can you hear me now? If I'm going to keep talking, if more people can't hear me, let me know. But we had all planned to, all right, good. I got one fine. Maybe we're on mute on somebody else's. So the plan was to get the Island Inn raised, and it was October, right, of 2019 that we were planning to get it raised?
Yes, we had it all lined out, and then we got a hurricane.
Everything was lined up. September,
Yep.
The hurricane came,
Yep.
And all of a sudden, all the forces went to raising residence homes, and we didn't feel like we could...
And repairing and replacing resident homes.
Yes, or 400 houses. So we took the back burner. We didn't want to get in the way of that. So it's just been sitting here, and it's been really hard to find resources, time, people, money, places, everything to get it raised. But we're finally getting ready to start. And so we're going to walk over so you can see. And I've started a hashtag, Island Inn Oddfellows. So I haven't put any pictures on that yet, but if you have history, photos, memories, whatever, if you hashtag that, hopefully we can start. I don't exactly know how the hashtags work, but we can try. So here is the Island Inn project. I'm sorry, Ken, what were you going to say?
We have some funding for the raising, the initial raising work. We're
raising meaning lifting.
Yeah, lifting, elevating the building. What we need now is some starter money for the next phase of the project, and it's a multi-phase project. The first thing we have to do is get it off the ground and up on pilings above the flood line. So any monies that are donated now will certainly go to the project, but not necessarily to the lifting. We have the money to do that, so that's proceeding and may even happen in the next week or so.
So we'll show you the cribbing. We'll walk around a little bit outside, and then we'll go inside and show you what's going on.
Park.
So this is a multifaceted project. It's not just restoring the Oddfellows Lodge, but it's creating this Island Inn Park. We're hoping to get benches over here at Tram Stop 2. We've got a gazebo that was donated to us, needs a little repair. That is part of what the money could be used for. To get that as a shelter shade spot people could sit in. We've got right now public porta potties that will have a sign eventually, but if you're in the village and you really got to go, here is a public porta potty. Some of the businesses have restrooms as well, but not all of them do. And we're envisioning...
We have plans to place at this spot where we're standing right now public restrooms, inside flushables like real restrooms. We have funding for it, but we've not been able to find contractors because the local contractors are so busy. So it's a project that's on hold. We have the money set aside, but someday where we are standing will be public restrooms right in the center of the village.
Which would be fabulous. We're also hoping to turn the Island Inn Oddfellows Lodge into a visitor center if we are able to get the funding and get the resources behind it. And a fig tree garden you've talked about, right? Through this area?
Down along the back fence, 5 or 6 fig trees. There are different types of fig trees on the island. We can have different types of fig trees with explanatory.
I think that's the right word.
Send us some money to buy a thesaurus. Different signage to explain the differences in the different types of fig trees. All the cribbing that you see back here in the back corner is part of the lifting process. That will all eventually go away. So there's a large area of green space that will be available for public use.
And we could have some central parking.
We have, tentatively, we have available 12 off-street parking places that can be used for the visitor center and the restrooms.
And some of this, I do not recommend, and they ask that you do not walk in this area right now. It's very bumpy because there was a wing that was torn down. Sadly, that wing was just too far gone for us to fix. The wing on the other side was part of the old naval barracks. That too got taken down because we really felt like the central part that was the oldest and most historic part of the Oddfellows Lodge, needed to be the part that we really focused on. And this will get leveled out eventually, but again, when we go back to getting resources, the fellow that was going to do it, had agreed to do it, suddenly got the contract to do the sandbags on Highway 12, and sandbags on Highway 12 really come first. So we, again, deferred to him to get that done, which we're happy to do. It just means that our project gets farther and farther behind. So let's walk ahead. And
the Oddfellows Lodge was built in 1901, and it's one of the last, if not the last, examples of Greek Revival architecture on Ocracoke. I can't say it's the oldest structure on the island, but it's one of the oldest. Obviously, having been here since 1901, when we started the project to raise the building, we found that some of the foundation beams that had been against the ground for 120 years had deteriorated to the point where we couldn't use them to lift. So the first phase was to replace all these beams. And you can see where
we've got the new treated wood.
This is new. This was so we could lift the building an inch or two to get the old ones out and the new ones in. This will eventually come back off, but it's part of the lifting process. And we can walk on around it and then come to the front door.
And we've pulled, I haven't done any of this physical labor, but they've pulled some of the old hand-cut nails that we're giving to different artists to do creative craft projects with. And so far I've only handed out to 2 artists, but we're hoping to get some more. And we're going to use those as fundraisers too. So there's a chance that you could get a little piece of history with an local island artist having created it. So the structure was built by Mr. Charlie Scarborough. And what's your step there?
Whose grandson still lives on the island.
And hopefully this campaign will be a 6-week campaign. We're going to be multi-series, so every week I'm hoping to do another video and talk to different people about the history of it. I want to talk to Al Scarborough to talk about the Charlie Scarborough history. I want to talk to Chester Lynn, who used to run the restaurant.
This is one of the original foundation beams that we replaced. When we jacked the building up, we took this out. Look at the size of this beam, and look at the condition it's still in after 120 years in direct contact with the earth.
So there's some damage there, but this is untreated, full heartwood. And I've talked to, I don't know if y'all know our ship in the bottle builder, Jim Goodwin. He does the North Carolina ships and bottles. And he has agreed, if we can give him a piece of this, to do one of his ships as a fundraiser. So that's something else we can look forward to. These are going to be over the next few weeks that we'll be getting this done. So we're going to take you inside, downstairs for a minute, and then we're going to take you back outside and walk upstairs. And any of y'all who have done my ghost walk know that Mrs. Godfrey might still be in here. So that's why I got Ken with me, right? Not just because of your information, but because I'm too scared to go in here by myself. So already it's being used for the public, for the community. We've got some storage in here. The Christmas lights are stored here right now. There is the big, go stand next to that. That goes on the lighthouse, right, Ken?
Yes.
So here is the wreath that goes on the lighthouse. That's what, 6-foot wreath almost.
We think.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
And
there's another wreath. I'm not sure where that one goes.
Maybe at the community center?
I'm not sure, but those, we're making what use we can of the building in the meantime.
And we'll go around here so you can see the Dorian line. I'm scared to back up. I can't, well, there you go. I kind of have half your head, Ken. There
That's
you
okay.
go.
We're trying to show how far it is from the floor.
Waist height for Ken. So that's how high Dorian got in here, which is why we have to raise it so that if it's going to be a usable community space, we can actually use it without fear of getting flooded again. So obviously a lot of work needs to be done in here. These stairs may be parts of the original stairs, but they were shifted at one point to access the wing that was off to the Highway 12 side. So that's closed off. That's why we can't use these steps to go upstairs. And we're going to do some research to see exactly how the steps used to be so that we can get them back in the condition and in the direction that they were. But this is a really great space right in the center of town that I really, really hope we can use.
Now, just picture this space right here, and possibly, I'm not sure what structural walls are over here, but possibly that next room could be opened up as a visitor center.
Because it used to all be one space. This was downstairs area, originally was the school. It was a one-room schoolhouse. And then upstairs, the second floor was used as the Oddfellows Lodge, which was a fraternal organization like the Masons. And then at the very top in World War II, it was used as officers' quarters up there and officers' club. So,
partying went on there.
Well, is there still partying going on up there?
I hope not.
So this balcony, the reason we're doing the walk today is this balcony is going to come down because it is just kind of toe-nailed in. So I'm going to hold on to the railing as we walk up.
Structurally, this balcony was built later and tacked onto the front, and we can't lift it up. We are doing measurements and photographs in case one of the options down the road, if we can get the funding, may be to reproduce parts of this balcony, because that was how a lot of people remembered the front of the Island Inn. So
we're trying to do it not just back to the original 1901 structure, but also to how most of us remember it with the balconies and to make it more usable. So we're trying to incorporate both of those parts of the Island Inn so we can honor both sides of the history. So all these rooms, they're what, 12 by 14 approximately, or?
Yeah, I can give you the precise measurements. The smallest one is 11 by 11. The largest is 14 by 15. There's 4 different rooms that we anticipate being used as office space rented out to village organizations. We might have one room left as an apartment, sleeping quarters for, this is something that we've discussed at OPS. One of the problems on Ocracoke is in the season, all the rooms are booked up. So if you have somebody coming in to teach a continuing education class at the fire department, there's no place to stay. Same with the school, the health center.
Visiting artists, visiting speakers, visiting.
All of that to have one room that was set aside to be used in that way would be a great benefit to the community.
Yeah, yeah. So a lot of this is still work in progress. We've got to see how much money we get. This is a multi-million-dollar project that we're looking at. I don't know.
And a several-year project.
And a several-year project. So it's not going to be instantaneous, but we're trying really hard to get as much energy behind this as we can so we can really start making progress and visible progress. You can hear the peeps of the smoke detectors are gone. That's the battery is dying. Has died.
There's no electric power in the building right now either. All of this old paneling will come down and will be replaced with authentic
beadboard, probably.
Beadboard, probably. The full restoration will be historic in according with the Department of Interior historical restoration recommendations and requirements.
And I think one of the really important parts about this, especially after Hurricane Dorian in 19, is that Ocracoke really did lose a lot of our little historic houses. Sometimes actually physically, they had to get torn down, and sometimes just visually by getting razed, and this is going to get razed too. And I just use myself as an example. My house officially was a historic home. We completely redid it. I have a little hurt in my heart about changing the look of it. But I also needed to do what fit our family. So we're trying to have at least some historic visibility in the village so that we can see what some of the island architecture did look like. And this is a really, really important piece. So they probably won't be purple when we're done, will they?
I don't know that was a historically accurate color.
Avocado green was, well, that was a 60s color, but yellow and white traditionally were colors. All right, and now we're going up to the very top. And I don't know if y'all have heard the stories of Mr. and Mrs. Godfrey, but these are the rooms that she was most likely to haunt, we will say. It's going to get very dark. And also, if you donate to this, if you go to the GoFundMe, if you scroll all the way down, it's a little bit long, but if you scroll all the way down, you will see some perks. And each week of the 6 weeks that we do it, we're going to have different levels that you can give at, and you'll be entered into a lottery to draw to win a prize. So the more you give, the bigger the prize is going to be. I've only got them worked out through the first week because I'm on island time, but there'll be some pretty neat stuff. So here's room 23. Rooms 23 and 24 in the crow's nest are where Mrs. Godfrey is said to wander. We might leave her up here to herself for a little bit while we figure out what to do here, because there's going to be more reconstruction that goes on up here.
There is a dormer that's built out here.
You can see the header there a little bit above Ken.
Historic. And we will remove this to get back to the old roof line. And you can see how this roof will pitch down. This is the existing roof line. So it will come down and end about here someplace.
So I don't know if y'all heard, sometimes it's a little hard. So there's a dormer that was added on probably in the 60s, maybe?
I think so.
That we're going to have to tear down to get back to the original roof line. So this side is the dormer that you're seeing. And over here is what the roof line really looks like. And that's what it's going to go back to. So it's a little knee wall going down to the eaves there. Do you feel Mrs. Godfrey yet? And I'm going to hopefully get Philip on one of these tours to tell the story of Mrs. Godfrey. I know a lot of you have heard it, and that's if you give between 20, I forget what I said, 25 and 99, the prize, whoever wins the drawing from that will get the book Digging Up Uncle Evans with the story of Mrs. Godfrey in it. But it's more fun to hear Philip tell it actually in person. So this is another, we'll take these balconies off. These balconies back here were added later, not quite as secure as they should be. So we don't want, and you can see our lovely electric plant from here.
Oh, yes.
It's a prettier view from the other side, but we sure do appreciate that electric plant being there. So anything else you want to say, Ken?
No. Can you get enough light to show in here where the original roof and joist?
Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of light going. Can y'all see that? That's some of the
That's some of the original beams.
beams that are in there. Old, we're talking 120-year-old beams, hand-cut nails. And think about guys that do the construction these days. Not only do they not have to make the nails, they just have a nail gun and pop, pop, pop goes right through. These were hard hammered through there. So here you go. I guess we'll give you one. Should we go down and see the dark?
Let's do see if we
hallway.
can get down the steps
Ah!
in the dark again.
All right, so if you hear a thump, 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 you know that we're
Call
falling down the
911.
steps. It's a little lighter going this direction, but I still haven't felt Mrs. Godfrey. Maybe she only comes out at night.
She's camera shy.
Has anybody stayed at the Island Inn in the past and had Mrs. Godfrey experiences? Post it here if you want. Woo. So we hope that you guys will join us. We've got, right now this campaign is the $60,000 goal, which in one way feels like an exorbitant amount. But when you look at what needs to be done, I'm gonna let you go out first, Ken. It's just a drop in the bucket. So there you go. Oh, and another little piece of history. How many 4th of July parades have been judged from this very balcony? There have been dozens and dozens where everybody slows down on the parade to go here so the judges who are sitting up here. That's one reason we got to keep this. We got to start doing that again.
Yes, yes.
So, all right, we're going to sign off. Thank you all for, I'm going to put you in there, Ken.
Thank you for your support. Make
Yeah.
sure you walk by when you're on the island. And if you have any questions, contact us through the museum, or you can ask at Village Craftsmen, and we will put you in touch with the right people if we don't have the answers.
And if you don't feel comfortable donating through GoFundMe, we are very flexible with how you can donate.
Flexible is good.
We've got email addresses. I think it's admin@ocracokepreservation.org. You can email me, info, or Amy at villagecraftsman.com. You can call the museum number 252-928-7375. You can text me. We don't answer the phone a whole lot. We get way too many spam calls, but you feel free to text me and I can call you back, 252-928-5541. Lots and lots of ways. And anybody who donates in any way, whether it's the GoFundMe or the sending a check or calling us and donating that way, anybody gets entered into those drawings. So we just need your contact information when you do donate so that we can get a hold of you. So thank you. And we'll turn it back around so you can see both of us. Well, you
And
can see
thank
my
you
nose.
for your attention this morning. Feel free to share this with your friends and family.
Yeah, we want to
and,
make this a big success.
We look forward to seeing you on Ocracoke.
We'll see you later. Thank you, guys.